I think there is a reason we're all just so completely obsessed with how magic tricks work.
Oh, for sure. It's human nature.
Right. Like you see the grand illusion on stage, the levitation, the sudden disappearing act, and it's completely flawless.
Perfectly executed.
Exactly. The lights hit perfectly, the music swells, the audience gasps. But part of you, maybe even the biggest part of your brain, is just desperately looking for the wires.
You want to see the trapdoor.
Yes. You want to see the trapdoor.
Well, the flawless performance creates the spectacle, right? But finding that hidden trapdoor, that's where the actual human connection happens.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We have this really deep-seated psychological need to understand the mechanics of the impossible. I mean, a perfect illusion actually creates a barrier between the performer and the audience. And revealing the method behind the trick, showing the wires, that dismantles that barrier.
Okay, so for decades, the entire wedding industry has basically operated like a giant, flawless magic show.
Oh, absolutely. A very expensive magic show.
Right. Think about the standard output, the final leather-bound photo album, the dramatic slow-motion cinematic highlight reel.
The drone shots.
The drone shots. It has all been about presenting this perfect, untethered from reality fairy tale day. You never saw the stress or the sweating vendors or the chaotic setup.
No, never.
But that pristine facade is collapsing fast. So welcome to today's deep dive. We are thrilled to have you with us as we tear into this massive shift in digital storytelling. We're using a fascinating collection of data and strategies from a document simply called Behind.Docs.
Yeah, it's a really eye-opening read.
It really is, and it's centered around a simple concept, going behind the scenes.
And the focus of our analysis today is a platform called Weddizer, which has essentially become the gravitational center for this entire industry pivot.
Weddizer, right?
Yeah, Weddizer is completely upending the traditional marketing playbook. They are proving that raw, unfiltered, behind-the-scenes content is now far more valuable than that polished highlight reel.
Which is wild to think about. So our mission today is to figure out the mechanics of this shift. We are going to explore why those hyper-polished cinematic videos are suddenly, turning modern audiences off.
They really are.
And we'll look at how vendors are using platforms like Weddizer to capture viral attention. Plus, the specific psychological triggers that make a shaky, behind-the-scenes smartphone video so incredibly addictive.
And I should point out, the dynamics we are uncovering here, they extend far beyond just wedding planners and videographers.
Right, it's bigger than that.
Much bigger. This represents a fundamental rewiring of how modern consumers decide to trust a brand. I mean, the polished veneer is actively losing its power across every sector of the economy.
Wow.
Yeah, so understanding the technical and psychological reasons behind that collapse, it's essential for anyone trying to capture human attention today.
Let's start by looking at the death of the perfect highlight reel. In the early 2010s, the ultimate goal for any couple or vendor was that drone shot, perfectly color-graded mini-movie.
Yeah, everyone wanted to look like a movie star.
Exactly. You know the exact vibe. The lighting mimics a high-end perfume commercial. Not a single hair is out of place. The couple looks like professional actors who never sweat or stumble over their words.
But audiences today are actively rejecting that format.
Really, just rejecting it.
They're swiping past it.
Yeah.
Modern consumers have developed this severe, almost physiological case of advertising fatigue.
Advertising fatigue.
Right. Think about it. We spend our entire days scrolling through supercomputers that feed us a relentless, algorithmically optimized stream of curated perfection.
That is so true. It's exhausting.
It is. And because of that extreme saturation, the human brain has adapted. We've developed a highly sensitive pattern-matching radar for anything that feels contrived or fake.
Okay, let's unpack this. Why does polish automatically trigger that defensive radar? What is actually happening in our brains that makes a beautiful cinematic shot of a wedding suddenly feel, suspicious?
What's fascinating here is how our brains categorize trust. When a viewer sees a hyper-polished, flawless video, their brain instantly categorizes it as a commercial.
Oh, because of the production value.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The high production value literally screams, someone is trying to sell me something.
Yeah.
It feels manipulative.
Right.
But behind-the-scenes content completely bypasses that cognitive filter. Because it lacks that slick veneer of an advertisement, the brain categorizes it as reality.
It lowers our defenses.
Yes. It feels unscripted, and therefore it feels safe to trust.
That makes total sense. It's like how we all secretly prefer watching the blooper reel during the credits of a comedy rather than the actual movie sometimes.
Exactly. I love bloopers.
Right. The bloopers remind us that these are real people who mess up and laugh at themselves.
Yeah.
So when you see a vendor showing the messy process, like a photographer tripping over a lighting stand but still getting the shot, or a planner frantically pinning a dress, they are proving two vital things at once:
Competence and humanity.
competence and humanity.
That is the exact combination required to build modern brand loyalty. By showing the hustle, the sweat, and the real-time problem solving, a professional isn't just telling you they're good at their job.
They're showing you.
Right, they're providing undeniable visual evidence of their competence.
Yeah.
And pairing that with the humanity of the situation, the laughter, the exhaustion,
Yeah.
that creates a significantly stronger foundation of trust than a static, perfect image ever could.
But if authenticity is the new currency of trust, it raises a huge question about strategy.
Strategy is key.
Because, I mean, you can't just post random shaky footage of someone eating a sandwich at the catering tent and expect a massive return on investment.
No, nobody wants to see that.
Right. The content has to be deliberately engaging. Vendors are abandoning the polished kiss at the altar to point their cameras at very specific, calculated moments instead.
Yes, and the behind docs data reveals a distinct anatomy to a viral behind-the-scenes moment. It generally falls into 4 distinct categories.
Sure, categories.
Yeah, and they map a chronological journey through the event that triggers different psychological responses.
Interesting.
It usually begins in the bridal suite with preparation moments. The makeup application, the mirror reveals, the chaotic energy of the morning.
Oh man, the emotional weight of those morning moments is staggering. You aren't just seeing a pretty dress, you're watching the nervous anticipation.
Exactly. The real feelings.
You see a mother tearing up in the corner while she buttons the gown. It triggers immediate emotional mirroring in the viewer.
Which is incredibly powerful.
Yeah. You don't even know these people, but because the emotion is raw and unprompted, you feel the tension and the joy right along with them.
And that emotional mirroring transitions directly into the second highly effective category, which is unscripted couple reactions and candid interactions.
Like what?
This is the antithesis of the posed dramatic portrait. We were talking about the groom laughing hysterically because he fumbled the ring.
Oh, I love those videos.
Or the couple whispering a private joke during the rehearsal. These micro moments of natural human error and connection allow viewers to project their own relationships onto the content.
Oh, wow. So it makes them feel closer to the couple.
Right, it breaks the illusion of the untouchable perfect couple and grounds them in relatable reality.
Which brings us to a totally different vibe for the third category, which is pulling the curtain back on the vendors themselves.
This one is huge for marketing.
Like showing the videographer literally running backward through a field to capture a tracking shot, or the incredibly complex setup required to fly a drone through a venue.
Yeah, that specific type of footage taps into a sense of technical awe. It highlights the sheer physical and creative effort required to produce the magic trick we talked about earlier.
You're watching a master at work.
Exactly. You're watching a highly skilled professional operate in their element. It transforms the vendor from a faceless service provider into a protagonist in the story.
Okay, then there's the fourth category, and I have to push back on this one a little bit. Yeah, I completely understand why a video of a groom crying during a first look goes viral. I get why seeing a photographer hanging off a balcony to get a shot is impressive.
Sure.
But the data shows massive engagement for decor time lapses.
Yes, it does.
You're telling me a fast-forward video of a crew folding chairs and hanging floral arrangements is capturing millions of views.
Absolutely. And the underlying psychology driving that engagement is incredibly powerful.
Really? Folding chairs?
I mean, decor time lapses do not rely on emotional connection. They rely on the human brain's craving for visual satisfaction and order.
Visual order, okay.
Watching an empty, chaotic, cavernous room systematically transform into a highly structured, aesthetically beautiful environment, it delivers a massive hit of dopamine.
Oh, like those viral power washing videos? It's an ASMR level satisfaction.
Precisely. It is the visual resolution of chaos. If we connect this to the bigger picture, you can see how vendors are essentially building a psychological obstacle course for the viewer's brain.
A psychological obstacle course, I like that.
Yeah, because the bridal preparation provides raw emotional resonance. The unscripted mistakes provide humor and relatability. The drone setup provides technical awe. And the decor time-lapse taps into our deeply ingrained desire for visual order.
Wow.
Together, they create a comprehensive, highly addictive narrative ecosystem.
Hitting all those different pleasure centers in the brain is brilliant, but knowing the psychology of what to shoot is kind of useless if that footage just sits on a hard drive, right?
Very true.
To leverage this psychological obstacle course, creators need an infrastructure. They need a dedicated environment built specifically for this new style of raw storytelling. And that brings us squarely to the phenomenon of Weddizer.
Weddizer is the architectural framework making this industry-wide pivot possible.
It's the engine behind it all.
Exactly. It functions as a specialized platform empowering everyone from planners and photographers to boutique bridal brands.
Okay.
It gives them the exact tools and community to grow their businesses exclusively through authentic, behind-the-scenes storytelling.
The compounding benefits of an ecosystem like Weddizer are massive. We're talking about supercharged brand visibility, a level of audience engagement that traditional portfolios could never reach,
Not even close.
and entirely new avenues for creative promotion. But looking closely at the mechanics of how content actually succeeds on Weddizer, it is incredibly demanding.
Oh, it's brutal. The threshold for success is highly calculated. To achieve virality, creators are utilizing very specific frameworks.
Like what? What are the rules?
Well, the pacing must be relentless. The videos generally need to hit a tight 15 to 30-second window.
That is fast.
Extremely fast. The editing must be fast-paced, cutting out any dead air, and the opening 3 seconds require an aggressive visual hook to disrupt the user's scrolling momentum.
Here's where it gets really interesting to me. We keep using the words raw and unfiltered,
Right.
but if you actually look at the highest performing content on Weddizer, there's a glaring oxymoron.
How so?
This messy behind-the-scenes footage requires incredibly high production value. You still need perfectly stable camera work. You need highly strategic, flattering lighting, even in a dark catering tent.
You definitely do.
You need crystal clear audio so the viewer can actually hear that whispered joke between the couple. To create a successful unfiltered video, you essentially have to produce a miniature Hollywood film.
It is the defining paradox of modern digital marketing. And it makes perfect sense when you analyze what Weddizer is actively facilitating.
Okay, explain that.
The platform serves as a bridge between chaotic, amateur reality, and elite professional storytelling. Consider the cognitive friction of bad audio or shaky footage.
Oh, I hate bad audio.
We all do. If a video is genuinely too raw, if the lighting is terrible and the audio is blown out, the viewer's brain has to work way too hard to process the information.
Yeah, you just scroll past it.
Exactly. That friction instantly destroys credibility.
Because nobody is going to drop thousands of dollars to hire a videographer whose own behind-the-scenes video gives them motion sickness.
That is the exact mechanism at play. We are dealing with curated authenticity.
Curated authenticity.
Yes. The content must feel spontaneous enough to bypass the viewer's advertising filter, but it must simultaneously cross a strict threshold of technical quality to prove the vendor's elite competence.
It's a tightrope.
Very much so. Weddizer rewards the creators who can masterfully walk that incredibly thin tightrope.
And walking that tightrope also applies heavily to